Hey everybody, how are you doing? You know what? Sometimes you dive into the fridge and you find a beer that you've sort of like, when you've rearranged the fridge and you've put sort of like in a column or somewhere, and you sort of almost forgot about it. And I've just done a couple of beer reviews, and I'm having a little bit of a me time down at the Spencer Arms here. It's been a trying weekend. So, that's the arse machine flapping about. I've got my Charlie Mackesy t-shirt on, which was the inspiration behind the tattoo. There it is. It's like, there it is. And I found this in the fridge, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, I think I've turned the suggestions off on the video, so hopefully I can wave my hands around and it won't stop this recording, because the last few videos that I've done, and it's made me laugh. So I came in here like 2 beers ago feeling a little bit like the world's against me type of thing. It's been a bit of a trying time, and but now I'm all elevated, lifted up. I've had a great couple of beers. So I've had this beer, which is the Sheffield Stout, gifted to me from Jimbo from Aberdale Road. I say Aberdale Road because I went to the festival there. It's Aberdale Brewery over in Sheffield. Fantastic brewery. Every beer they do is a winner. I've had this lovely 3.4. I mean, that was only 4.5%. This is a 3.4% mild from the amazing Wheatlow Brewery. Dark mild, absolutely lovely, full of malty, sort of lovely, nice, silky toffee type palate, lovely notes. This had a little bit of a dark, roasty, complex stout. Now, I've done a turning point. Did you like how I did that? Now, here we go. Turning point. Thoughts. Thousands of evils. Barrel-aged blend. 2024 Imperial. So it's a barrel-aged edition blend in 2024. Imperial Stout at 11% ABV. I love how clear that is on the camera. Little top tip: the front camera on the iPhone is pretty shocking, really. It will tell you can do it in 4K, but it don't do it in 4K. It's got this little tiny little camera. Look there. It's about here somewhere in it. There it is. Look, it is tosh, really. But top tip: we handle our phones all the time, and if you don't keep that pristinely clean, it will not focus in. I was wondering why it wasn't focusing. Now, if my face is in there, it'll focus on my face rather than the can. But if you put the can in there, it focuses on it beautifully. But that's because the lens is clean. Anyway, this has been out the fridge for about 2 minutes, so it is going to be way too cold. I've got my little anal temperature probe here, but the thing is, I have said in the past, I love to have stouts cold, and especially 11% stout, you're not going to be drinking this in 5 minutes. By the time this is sat on the bar and I've talked to you about it, I've paused the video, threw a few darts, it's going to increase in temperature, and I'm going to get all them flavours right from the start right to the finish. I've borrowed a Vault City glass here because their glasses are absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to pour this out into. I'm going to go real vigorous because at 11%, I don't suppose we're going to get too much of a head. Or if we do, like we have there, it will disappear quite quickly, I would imagine. Oh, some nice smells coming from that already. So feast your eyes on that just for a second, because I am sure that head will dissipate very quickly. Now, I've got the Vault City logo to my face, because I think it's unfair for Triple Point for me to be putting Vault City's logo on one of their beer reviews. However, it is nice that I can borrow these glasses, thank you Vault City, to display this lovely beer. So apart from the condensation that we can see there, this beer is absolutely jet black. There's no rubiness through that. There's no light bleed through that whatsoever. I can literally block the sun with how dark that is. I've got a light on here, and I can put that in front of there, and it literally like just stops the shade. It just literally blocks the sun. Now the head has remained. The head has remained. I'm pretty impressed with that. And it's like a very sort of tanned head, almost like an espresso looking sort of like creamy head. Lots of little dots in it, which looks really fresh. I like to see the head of a beer with little bubbles in it. I know that we get really quite anal about Guinness being smooth and that, but this ain't a Guinness. This is an Imperial Stout. I like to see a lively head. You know, little popping bubbles. Shows it's alive for me. Right, I'm looking forward to this. Triple point, obviously, with that space age sort of thing, a bit of a UFO flying through the sky there. It looks like someone's exploring underwater, and there's a big old hand coming there to grab. It's a pretty decent bit of can art on that. So, right, let's get on the nose on this. Oh, definite barreling, definite bourbon-y whiskey type. Smelling the barrel. Now, you know what, right? So this bar is made from an old whiskey barrel. For my sins, I've had to do a lot of clearing up in the carport, and I've got the lids from the barrels of this bar that have been just stacked there, and I've made a little table out of one of them, but I just need to get rid of them. So I hate to say it, especially as a joiner, I've cut them up to burn on the log burner. And you know, when I was cutting them up and the blade was running through and it was warm, I could smell the sweet smell of the whiskey from the barrels. Literally, I could almost smell that. Seriously, I mean, there's a bit of chocolate nose in that, but I could smell, as I was cutting them up, I could smell it's an oak barrel, and I know what oak smells like, but I couldn't smell any of the wood as in the oak. All I could smell was that sweetness of like a bourbon whiskey. Right, anyway, cheers everybody, let's get into this, see what it's like. This is a biggie. Oh god, yeah, that's fantastic. Oh yeah. Oh, there's so many flavours in there. That's almost like it's been done in a few barrels. Oh my God. I mean, I've had some barrel-aged stouts in my time. And sometimes the whiskey, I'm not a big whiskey drinker. Well, I'm not a whiskey drinker at all. I think if you look carefully, you'll probably find Maker's Mark in here somewhere. Well, I've got the jumper. I've got the Christmas jumper there, look, when I had the Maker's Mark. And I don't think there's any whiskey. Oh, a Jack Daniels, but you can't really call that a high-end whiskey. I don't know much about whiskies and things, but oh my God, that has got to be... Oh, I've got to say, I think that's got to be one of the best barrel-aged stouts I've probably had. Oh, it's sticky on the lips. Sometimes when I've had a barrel-aged stout that's been in bourbon barrels or whiskey barrels, things like that, the whiskey sort of flavour from it can be a little bit overpowering for me. And it can be a little bit like, it's a bit too whiskey for me. I'm not a whiskey drinker. I used to drink brandy a little bit, but not whiskey. There's almost what am I getting there? There's so many flavours in this beer. Oh, I don't think this has had just one barrel. I can't even read what it says on that tin. Even a one-of-a-kind release in which we have blended 3 different Imperial Stouts that have been aged for between 1 and 3 years. 3 stouts have blended. It's definitely not just one barrel. There's almost like it's not just a bourbon whiskey. There's other sort of spirit barrel sort of flavours in there. The combination creates a bourbon and Masala Barrel-Aged Imperial Stout with additions of tonka maple syrup. That's something that's coming through absolutely. Kaku, which boom, Kaku or Kaku, whatever. Even though it's not strong, it's not like a bitter. There's no bitterness in this. Maple syrup, Kaku, vanilla, hazelnut, caramel, coffee, and lactose. The maple syrup, yeah, like a molasses sort of taste. That's mega. Right, wow, really is a freaking good stout, that is. So we're at 8 degrees, 8.3 degrees, a little bit too cold for this stout. This stout deserves to be warmed up a little bit. This stout deserves to sit there and warm up to about 12 degrees. I'll be back in a second. Right, so I've let this stout warm up and it's still sort of got this little rim of head around it. So I've swirled it round, and when you swirl it round, now it's a little bit warmer. It brings on the head, which is really impressive for an 11% stout. The temperature of this now is we're like 14 degrees, 14.6 degrees. We've really upped the temperature now. You wouldn't, to be honest with you, from sort of like 8 or 9 degrees to 14 degrees, on the mouth, it's hard to distinguish between them temperatures. You can tell it's warmer, but it don't exactly feel warm. But, the flavours, it hits you so hard with the flavours. There's everything going on in this stout. You've got that beautiful barrel-aging, bourbon-y. There's like a treacly, toffee treacly taste, that maple syrupy type of taste. Like that dark, like the molasses. I mean, I've actually had molasses. I've ate molasses. In fact, this is so good, it's making my back feel better. Now, I've had molasses. It's not quite as powerful as the actual pure molasses. It's really balanced with the mixture of the bourbon, the barrel aging of the barrels they've used, and the molasses, the toffee. There's a vanilla-y type of sort of like flavour coming out. You get a lot of that vanilla-ness from some of the wood, from the oak. Nothing's overpowering. It's so complex. It is so complex. It's unbelievable. I think I could waffle on about this beer for hours and hours and hours. It's the sort of beer that I don't really want to review and drink within 15 minutes. There's no like adjunct in that at all. It's all coming from the blend. They've said the blended stouts together. That's phenomenal. That is absolutely phenomenal. I can't even give enough superlatives about that beer, about that stout. And for 11%, it almost feels as if it's more pushing like 14% with its flavours. There's no boozy, horrible like ethanol, alcohol booziness about this at all. It's warming, it's nice, it's the right ABV to give you all them flavours without it giving you that boozy hit. There's nothing boozy about this at all. It's just full, jam-packed full of flavours. The bourbon flavours, the barrel flavours, the blended stout flavours, the maple syrup. There's chocolate in there. There's both dark chocolate, but I wouldn't say the dark chocolate like this with a bitterness. There's no bitterness in this at all. It's not sweet. It's just blended, balanced, beautiful. Every sip is a delight. As soon as you bring it up to your nose, you smell that dark, treacly, mapley, syrupy, molasses sort of stuff, and then you get it, and then you get the whiskiness and everything. It's absolutely fantastic. It's an absolute all day long. Hashtag Speno Waffle, 10 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching.